Hello and welcome. A 21-member cabinet headed by Chief Minister VD Satheesan has taken oath at the Central Stadium in Thiruvananthapuram. Galaxy of Congress leaders from all over the country, of course, were present, including Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, KC Venugopal. You had the chief ministers like Revant Reddy, you had Siddaramaiah, and also, of course, the second in command in Karnataka, all of them present. And yes, the crowds were overfull, the stadium was overfull. To talk about the political implications and the balance in the cabinet itself, I have with me very senior journalists, including Mr. Javed Ansari, Mr. K. Shaji, and KJ Jacob. And also we have Vineetha Hariharan, who is a policy analyst and a political commentator as well. I'm going to Mr. Jacob first. Did you see this as a balance in communities, youth, and experience? How do you view this team that Satheesan has put together?
The first thing is that he has been able to put together a team on the first day itself. Generally, it doesn't happen like that. That a core team of the chief minister and the leaders of the alliance parties come and take oath on the first day, and then the negotiations will be full swing for the next couple of days or more than that, and then the full team comes into place. At least Mr. Satheesan has been able to put together a team. It's not that something great for Kerala, but comparatively compared with the other Congress ministries, or UDF ministries, when the LDF comes to power, the full team will be there. But when the Congress or UDF, this has been the pattern. Satheesan has been able to break that, and for that, it's a good start. Of the 21, I think only 7 or 8 have been a minister earlier. I think most of them are newcomers, but even though they are newcomers, they are all veteran politicians. For example, Satheesan himself has never been a minister, but he has been a legislator for the last 25 years, and 5 years as leader of the opposition. Ramesh Chennithila he became a minister 40 years back. He was a minister in 1986. So Sunny Joseph has been an MLA for 15 years. His 16th year now he has been made a minister. Muralidharan was a minister for a very short time, and he lost his by-election and lost his chair. So it's a mix, and there are a lot of youngsters in that. So it's not a bad team at all. The start is good.
Yeah. Mr. Shaji, already, of course, criticism that IUML has 5 ministers, and there are some voices now saying that, see, this has already begun, and this could also lead to criticism or give room for criticism from the BJP or other parties, saying that they are becoming a dominant partner here.
Before coming to the IUML issue, I wish to point out certain things which are making this occasion very important. Yesterday, before assuming power, Satheesan held a press meet, and in that press meet, he clearly said, the chief minister is not above criticism. And you can criticize the chief minister, you can question the chief minister, you can correct my wrongdoings. And I think that is a kind of positive message, not just in Kerala, but it is a model for people who are governing across the country. Because intolerance is extremely high in this country, and nobody is entertaining any kind of criticism, and they are always pretending that they are demigods, they are icons, they are above criticism. And in the case of Satheesan, there is a departure. He is shifting from the existing narrative, and he is making himself more accountable and approachable to the people. And another level,
that's at least a good start, certainly.
Yeah, one thing I will add. Yeah, I want to add one more thing. Today, the ceremony is over, and now the ministers are meeting the governor. Soon, the first cabinet meeting would be held. And personally, I feel very positive that many people in Kerala, we have been writing for the last 2 years about the nominal kind of increase in the salary of ASHA workers who made Kerala number during the pandemic days, who still doing exemplary services to make Kerala number 1, at least in the case of the health protection. So Satheesan already promised the people, and even yesterday when the Asha workers met him, he told them, we have taken initiatives, we given clear directives to the concerned people to keep all the papers ready. So, in all
The major
likelihood, in the
the
first
major
cabinet
ASHA
meeting,
worker strike that was there, of course, was also one of the issues in the run up to the election, isn't it? That the ASHA workers were aggrieved because of the kind of attitude of the LDF government during their strike.
and not just the LDF government, the ecosystem around the LDF government, the cyber criminals, the cyber goons, they were hurting, humiliating, and even they were mocking the backwardness, the poverty, the lack of resources of these humble ASHA workers. And that is one of
Yeah,
the powerful message his government is going to give the people of Kerala. So there is a
yeah,
feeling. I am not saying VD Satheesan is going to be a miracle. I am not saying he is going to be a savior. But he is a human being. He is a democrat. He who wished to refine himself by accepting the people's feedback. And you all know he has been deliberately kept away from any kind of constitutional positions, any kind of power by the same Congress party so far. And despite being a good legislature person who has studied and who was arguing the cases very well, who worked
yeah.
on many crucial issues and won over, and who molded the public opinion in favor of the Congress in the last election. So we have
Absolutely,
many problems.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then I am coming to your question about the IUML. It has been largely a reactionary kind of propaganda across India for quite a long time. When Rahul Gandhi contested in Kerala in Wayanad for the first time, some IUML people were waving their flag. And the Gandhi media interpreted Rahul Gandhi is getting the support of Pakistan. And nobody is knowing, nobody is ready to understand what is the history of the IUML. The Indian Union Muslim League, actually the people, the Muslims in India, their minority party, it is not a communal party. It never raised any kind of communal issues, and it never raised any kind of hatred towards other communities. And their homestay, their hometown of Malappuram is very famous for communal harmony. Whenever the local temples caught fire, especially the case of the Angadipuram temple, very famous temple. It was IUML people who went there and they saved the temple. And also the long legacy of the Panakkad family, the first family that is leading the IUML. They have a long tradition of harmony. They contributed generously to temple welfare, people's welfare, cutting across religions. So that is a
No,
kind
I'm
of
not arguing
culture.
against IUML's credentials. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying about the narrative itself that is being built. Will that lead to some kind of a counter narrative? Actually, I'm going to take this across also to Mr. Javed Ansari. You're someone who's watched national politics for a long time. Uh, in Kerala, IUML's strength was certainly required by the UDF for their victory today, and they have shown a very stupendous performance, very high strike rate as well. And like Mr. Shaji pointed out, their credentials are never being questioned in Kerala per se. But yes, there has been this fear that the IUML, if it is going to get a dominant position, there is a there is a polarization debate that starts around that. Uh, is that something that you see now happening in Kerala? Or even elsewhere, the repercussions of the kind of a cabinet formation that's happened today?
Look, I see less of it in Kerala, but certainly certain elements at the national level will try and ferment this, try and build on this, try and create a rift where none exists. Much will also depend on the political management skills of the new chief minister and also the IUML in Kerala on in how they go about things. You know, there is something called situational awareness. So they need to be aware of the kind of environment that they are functioning. They should never be careful not to do anything overtly or covertly which will feed into this narrative. They need to be very, very careful because there are some people whose daily bread and butter depends on trying to ferment trouble, even where nothing of this kind persists. It's very heartening for a northerner, for somebody who was born and brought up in the badlands of UP, to see something like, to see what, how Kerala functions, and especially today. There was Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, there was Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar. Everybody was accorded due respect, and there was a lot of cordiality. In my state of Uttar Pradesh, leaders don't even talk to each other. SP and
Yes.
BSP don't talk to each other. BJP and now BJP and the rest of the opposition, they can't even be seen as, sharing a cup of tea or even sharing a conversation together. So this is a remarkable change, and I hope, for the sake of this country and for goodwill in this country, this kind of thing, this is an example that the rest of the country can emulate. But like I said,
Absolutely.
they need to tread very carefully, because there are
You're
people
right, Mr.
waiting in the
Ansari. In
wings.
fact, yes, after Mr. Satheesan was named as Chief Minister, we were chatting on DeKoder to Mr. KJ Alphonse, and he had such high words of praise, saying that someone so educated, someone who's been able to build bridges and show himself to be a 360-degree politician in that sense, in a positive sense, and that coming from a BJP leader was, of course, very, very welcome. Let me come to Vineetha Hariharan, someone who's seen policy comments on political developments as well. While everyone is praising the kind of skills that Mr. Satheesan has in terms of being able to reach out to multiple groups as well and not getting boxed into any community either, uh, for him, what is the task ahead? Because it looks like the honeymoon period may be brutally short in Kerala, because the promises that he has made, and like the Pudu Yugam that he is talking about, are huge, and they themselves spoke about the huge debt burden. Uh, Immediately, the challenges will start, isn't it?
No, absolutely. After the long wait of 7 days, we've seen a government formation done very quickly, and that's we're giving due credit to Mr. VD Satheesan and his leadership. And would like to echo Alphonse G's sentiments on VD Satheesan himself, that he's been a grassroots worker, climbed up the ladder, and proved himself on the ground. So definitely, we would want to see that happening as a chief minister as well. And as far as the issues are concerned, yes, there's a lot of issues that Kerala has to grapple with at the moment, especially the huge economic crisis in which Kerala is today. The treasury is almost empty. That's what they say in Malayalam, Kajnava Khaliyana. The treasury is almost empty. It's a huge debt burden that Kerala runs, and all the organizations like KIFBI, etc., which were pseudo government organizations, but they were routing a lot of debt through such shadow organizations, and all of this requires a huge overhaul in terms of governance, in terms of every aspect of policy and political governance, so to speak. So he has a huge challenge in front of him, especially on the economical front, and especially catering to the aspirations of the youth, because a huge unemployment crisis that Kerala is reeling in, the drug menace that is the youth is staring at the face of a huge drug menace, and all of these issues, I think, is what the government has to focus on, and of course building on the infrastructure legacy of what the central government has been providing, and the state has also been pitching in the national highway development. All of that will have to see a continuity. And apart from that, I think the most important thing would be to promote the startup economy and fulfill the aspirations of the youth. And of course, law and order. Law and order is something that Kerala still, it's a dichotomical situation where Kerala is touted to be the, hugely developed and well developed in terms of human development indicators. But still, there is a lot of unsafety of women staring at the face in Kerala. And
Alcoholism.
Kerala, yes, alcoholism and drugs and all of these are issues that we hope that with VD Satheesan at the helm, since he's a very studied politician, informed decision maker, so hopefully all of these statistics will flow into his office and he would take decisions accordingly and implement them on the ground.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we all look forward to as citizens of Kerala.
Mr. Jacob, let me come to you. You spoke about Satheesan not having the administrative experience and many members in his team not having that administrative experience. But do you expect that to bring in actually an opportunity for new ideas or a new template? Because all over the country, they're struggling for this thing about jobs and about higher education. And obviously, for Kerala, the specific issue of people migrating out, youth migrating out in search of more economic prosperity or lifestyle choices. For all the template that Mr. Satheesan has laid out, this team with Mr. Ramesh Chennithala as well agreeing to join finally, and he is probably getting the home portfolio or vigilance portfolio as we understand. Um, do you see this working in cohesion? IUML 5 members. There are people who have been ministers with experience and those without.
I don't see it. It's emerging as a big problem because even the second LD of ministry had an entirely new team, and some of them were used to be ministers, but most of them were first-time ministers. And in my reckoning, that is one of the best governments that we have Kerala has ever seen. The kind of infrastructure development they have made, the kind of initiatives in human welfare, I think it is unparalleled. And Satheesan will have to walk the talk. His problem will be the standard set by the LDF ministry, especially the second ministry. They have been voted out basically because of the politics of it, not definitely because of the governance issue. This is what my assessment is. The kind of money they have ploughed into infrastructure development and the two sectors which Kerala has been strong on, that is education and healthcare. So the infrastructure has gone up heavily, and they will have to now add manpower, quality manpower to these two sectors, and to build on national highways being. I mean, Kerala never had a decent national highways news to most of India, even to us. The work has only started now. A lot of it is completed. I think VD Satheesan will be, as a politician, he has excelled and he has defeated the LDF handsomely. But he'll have to prove himself to be a success in terms of governance. He has talked too much about, a lot about the governance that's going to come. He has made too many promises which are heavy on the fiscal front. One good thing that is going to happen to him is that a lot of the debt the previous governments have incurred, that will be paid off in another 1 or 2. A lot of it will be paid off. And the most important thing is that a beneficial reward by the Finance Commission, the latest Finance Commission, they have raised the level of devolution from the central taxes devolution. It is 1.9%. It is going to be 2.3%. That will give him another extra 10,000 crore at least in the first year. So that is going to be a big help for him to implement the promises that he has already given to the people. There are many of them. Many of them are warranted, like the free travel for women on transport buses. I would personally support that, but it's going to be very costly. He'll have to find finances for that, and I think that is why he has chosen to keep finance portfolio to himself, because he has been talked about how to collect taxes without bothering people, how to he has already on record saying that the primary duty of a ruler is to fill the coffers first. And he has chosen to keep that portfolio for himself. Now he has to walk the talk.
So theory is always much easier than practice, I guess, in terms of raising revenues or being able to fulfill these guarantees. We have seen the experience of a Telangana and a Karnataka, and very outspokenly, Telangana chief minister has said, I really don't have the money. I'm doing the guarantees, but I don't have the money for anything else. And he's been quite open about it. But yes, the expectation from the people is that the free bus will roll out, and there could be, of course, benefits from that in terms of the women being able to move around more freely, and the other related benefits that we talk about. Mr. Shaji, I must at this time also talk about the LDF, being reduced to a 35. What do you see the strategy in this? I mean, it was nice to see all the leaders together. Coming together, that is during these kind of occasions. The last day of campaigning itself is a something different that Kerala celebrates, which we don't see anywhere else in the country, where all the parties come together, and on a day like this they all come together. But what should the strategy of LDF be now at a time when their presence everywhere else in the country? I must take this also to Mr. Javed Ansari next. But what do you think the strategy of LDF will be to stay relevant in such a situation?
Before coming to the question, I wish to point out one thing. Because in the last conversation with Jacob, you were raising the issue of experience. Because most of the new ministers, including the chief minister, they are in the position for the first time. So what came to my mind this time is one question some journalist once asked with EMS Namboodiripad report, the first Chief Minister of Kerala, one of the towering Marxist leaders, and one of the greatest personalities Kerala had ever produced. And he said, when he came to be the Chief Minister of Kerala for the first time in 1957, he was very junior. He never had any kind of administrative experience. And he said all of his cabinet members had no experience. But he said only one conviction that he shared with his own cabinet members is that it is not a matter in a democracy to have too much experience. The important thing is conviction. The kind of governance you wanted to give to the people, the kind of message you are giving to the people, the kind of confidence you are infusing among the community. So that is the keystone. Then in the case of Satheesan, he is giving some kind of good hope for the people. And even yesterday, when I was talking in a Malayalam television channel, I pointed out one thing, and many of my co-speakers joined with me, because he restored a kind of politics of respect, politics of dignity. So, in the case of the ASHA workers or the poor agriculture workers or women, and these people are getting a kind of assurance, and they are being considered, and their issues are being considered by the government. And in the case of this free travel for the women, many people are mimicking it, many people are casting aspersions against it. But there are two successful models, one in Tamil Nadu and another one in Karnataka. They are the free concession, free travel facility for women. It empowered, it enhanced the morale of hundreds of thousands of ordinary women, the working class women who are daily workers, who are moving around. So it is overall strengthening the economy. So the so-called pundits, the liberalization experts, they may be highly critical of such populist programs, but they have very clear good results outside. And even in Kerala, though the last government was claiming it eradicated extreme levels of poverty, but in Kerala, I sincerely believe poverty still exists. And in the Kerala, the poverty is just below a fine dress or having a good meal. The people have poverty.
I
It
must
is
point
not
out,
much
Mr.
visible.
Shaji, that when I was talking to women in Tamil Nadu, they said it's not so much free bus. I wish they would give us enough bus so that we feel safe, and the last mile is also covered. Because they said free bus, they limited us to a few number of buses, and now we are not able to get onto buses because the buses have been reduced. While they say free bus service, the bus itself has been reduced. But I was talking about LDF strategy that I want you to say.
Yeah,
How do they remain relevant?
yeah. In the case of the LDF, so far I think whoever in Kerala, even the Congress leaders or journalists like me and Jacob, nobody is ruling out the importance or existence of left in Kerala. In one level or other level, we may be critical about the left, but we wanted the left to be remain here, relevant here as a constructive opposition. And one thing I feel in the last 10 years of Pinarayi Vijayan, the thing is that governance tend to be something, a gift of the government to the people. Or another level, the government, the benevolence of the government. It is not being treated as the right of the ordinary citizen. That was one of the biggest issues, despite doing all these infrastructure development projects, despite doing many developmental works. Why the left defeated in this election? Because the PR mechanism, that projected Pinarayi Vijayan from across the state, Pinarayi Vijayan glancing people through big hoardings across the state. He was looking at people from all the public transport buses. He was looking at people from the front page of jackets of every newspaper. He was creating an intimidating presence through whenever we are opening the television. Because such a kind of about 300 crore rupee PR projection of Pinarayi Vijayan boomerang this LDF very significantly. And in the last
Yeah,
5 years, the last
when you are
5 years,
traveling across Kerala, also everywhere you are seeing Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan's posters, so many that you thought this kind of a blitzkrieg was something that you're probably very rarely you see. I've seen in any other state that I've covered either. the scale.
Going by history, in 1950s, the then Soviet Union's Politburo, the party Congress, they identified cult worshipping as the biggest enemy of Marxism. That kind of cult worshipping, once rejected by communists across the world, was reinvented by Kerala communists to promote Vijayan as a cult figure, a living god, or a man of
Yeah.
magnanimity who is giving even normal, simple kind of governmental grants and government supports to all the ordinary people as the gifts and magnanimity of this person. So the left must have
Absolutely,
to
I agree with
realize.
you on that. This tendency to project welfare measures or social measures of the governments as gifts from the government or benevolence of so-called rulers is something that we see in many other states as well. I guess, Mr. Javed Ansari, today the way we saw the Congress leaders coming there and celebrating a few days ago, we saw that happening in West Bengal with the BJP, West Bengal, as well as in Assam, of course, the BJP celebrating and saying that we are doing so well. What does the victory in Kerala mean for the Congress now? And with the left as well, I must bring them in because with the losing of the government in Kerala, left has lost its presence anywhere in the country in terms of having any government to any state government that they run. So, do they become now increasingly irrelevant in the national coalition politics that we talk about?
Well, it is a huge setback for the left. And at the national level, it's an existential issue because they don't figure anywhere in the political equations. Earlier, if you remember, in Dr. Manmohan Singh's first government, and even when the left and the Congress parted ways, even then the left exerted a fair degree of influence. That, unfortunately, at the national level is no longer true. However, as far as the Kerala is concerned, the LDF is certainly not going to walk away into the sunset. LDF will not fold up. They'll after today's cordiality, the real politic will kick in. The LDF will mount a vigorous. They'll be waiting for this new government to make mistakes. If the new government fails to fulfill its promises or walks back on its promises, that's where the LDF will pounce. They'll of course do some rethinking. They'll have to do some homework and come up with a new leader because Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, despite the fact that he was a very tall leader and he did a lot. I mean, he served the party extremely well. But then his best years are now behind him. And therefore, they will have to look for a new face. They have an organization in place. They just need to rev it up and they'll have to bide the time. But the left will certainly not fold up in Kerala. But at the national level, they have a mountain to climb because right now they don't figure anywhere in the equation. And which is not good news because the left at least was consistent in raising is one of the loudest voices in favor of women, in favor of the underprivileged, in favor of minorities. And despite the political price they paid, they continued. They were consistent. So
Yeah, the ideological position that they took is also something that we need at a national level as well, I guess, in order to be able to have this debate going. Mission 2026 for the BJP in Kerala doesn't seem to have gone well. So, are they likely to now go back to the drawing board to see what they can do about it? And the victory in Kerala, what do you see? Is it going to boost the Congress position in what they're trying to, what they have been talking about as an alliance, national alliance, Mr. Ansari?
certainly, I missed out that question. This comes as a shot in the arm for the beleaguered Congress party. They've won a state after a very long time. And this has now helped them. There are three southern states, Telangana, Karnataka, and now Kerala, and which they won on their own. They are part of an alliance, post-election alliance, and they've got into government. Perhaps if they were clinical enough, there are a lot of people who believe, perhaps if they were clinical enough before the elections, they should have heeded the advice of a large number of their partymen and gone for an alliance with TVK. That would have bolstered their number. They would have contested and won a larger number of seats. But that's all water under the bridge. At least now they are a part of that government, minor players, but nonetheless, So it's given them some breathing space. They've formed some kind of a bulwark against the BJP's onslaught, a southern
Yeah.
bulwark. But they can't just rest on this. They need to build on this. And the biggest mistake that the Congress party can make is to believe that they've suddenly arrived at the national level. They haven't. They have a huge amount of work to do. They need and at the national level, there is no political party, no opposition party which on its own can take on the BJP. It has to be a part of an alliance. So therefore, whether it is the Congress, the TMC, the Samajwadi Party, or any other party, they'll be extremely foolhardy to believe that, look, boss, we've arrived and we will be the Congress can. Obviously, Congress has the largest number of MPs, and still, despite its weakened state, it is still the largest opposition party. So it will have to play a pivotal role, but it will need to bring and work together with all the other regional parties. Only then can they think in terms of posing a challenge in emerging, the entire opposition bloc emerging as a viable alternative.
Yeah, Vinita, you're someone who's been quite articulate about the delimitation concerns and about financial devolution. Especially the southern states have been articulating this. And like Mr. Ansari was just mentioning, it's important that all these parties come together so that the voice is heard. What strategy can these parties actually put together? Because the Congress doesn't seem to be able to get everyone together into this alliance so that the concerns of states like Kerala, which feel wronged by the policies of the central government, again and again letters are written, but beyond that, the numbers don't work for the southern states, and delimitation only making it worse.
No, absolutely. This is a debate that's been going on for a very long time about delimitation and all the financial devolutions that are going against certain states. But unfortunately, this was, etched in stone many, many years back, the formula of devolution and the formula for even delimitation and all of that. So, we have to then rewrite legacy and rewrite frameworks and rewrite the formula. So that is something that needs to be taken up in various advocacy forums and various technical forums, which then can be represented to the government. And the working of Indian government has to be understood in this context when everybody complains about a lack of focus by the central government on certain states. It's absolutely not like that. It's on the basis of a cooperative federal structure for sure, and it's a formula basis, and it's done by a separate body. It's not done by any political government, so to speak. So it's done very technically. It's done as per governance framework. So there's something that we need to take up in different forums about the formula of allocation, which goes maybe perhaps against states which do not have such a high population. Now we have Mr. Chandrababu Naidu encouraging a third child in terms of the subsidies given for having a third child and for population growth. So I think
Is
that's a
that the right
very
way to go at all, in your view?
not at all. So I think that's a lopsided reaction to a certain policy that's set long back. And I think in India, a lot of things have to change in terms of the laws that were set many many years back during the British era. Sometimes, so all of that needs a change. And but change is not taken very well by people who have used to certain systems that have been going on for so many years. So I think that is what is required in terms of a change in governance, change in frameworks. So that would be done slowly and steadily, I would say. And increasing the number of seats in the parliament also comes from that thinking in which we need to change with the times, because one MP in Uttar Pradesh represents about 3 crore people. So that was the ethos with which this increased number of seats was brought in. So that also to bring in certain amount of fairness to the southern states as well, wherein the formula was clearly laid out by the law minister, where Kerala was getting additional 10 seats and so on and so forth. And speaking of women's reservation, I think this cabinet, we expected some more women to be there, only 2 out of 21. So, we could have had more women representation in this cabinet also.
Yeah. That is a point that we make every election and every selection of cabinet members, and this is a thing that we put out and never gets anywhere. Just to end this on a lighter note, Mr. Jacob, let me ask you this. Mr. Ansari made a reference to TVK and Vijay as well. There was an invitation extended to the Tamil Nadu chief minister, but he did not turn up. So, was there disappointment, you would think, in Kerala, or would he have shifted the entire attention and limelight to himself if he had got there?
Maybe security concerns, because yesterday itself, our bureau reported that he's going to Kerala. So I don't know what happened in the last minute. Maybe security concerns. Attention cannot be the reason. And the more attention is on somebody aligned with the government, the more merrier for the new chief minister. So it would have made it more a jovial atmosphere. I think we missed him. In Kerala. But I don't know why. Vijay is supposed to be a very hardworking chief minister. He is in office from 10 to 6 is what I heard. He eats his lunch in the office. So he is
At
learning
least
the
the
ropes.
AI images suggested so.
Not exactly. He is on the job. So of course, he would have added a lot more color to the function today. But Satish, it was enough, to bring life to the function. Now his real task is to walk the talk. That's going to be humongous task.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of attention, well-deserved attention on Mr. Satheesan, and all of us, once again, I guess, wish him the best as he starts off with his new team. Thank you so much, Mr. Javed Ansari, Vineetha, Mr. Shaji, and Jacob for joining us on DeKoder. Hope to get you back soon to hear about more things from Kerala and their progress that they are, the path that they are setting to take Kerala to that space which Kerala, it's always say, we are a different state and we will reach a different place. And hopefully that will happen under Mr. Satheesan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.